Today, I'll be talking about how to use this circular saw. I'd like to explain it from the perspective of an average person for all you DIYers out there. Basically, the way you use the 165mm and the 125mm is the same. This is the safety guard. This guard is here for your safety. When it makes contact with the material, it retracts like this. By pressing this lever, you can change the depth of the blade. First, when making a cut, you should always place something underneath, like a piece of styrofoam or a scrap piece of wood. We professionals usually just use leftover offcuts like these. Now, a lot of people try to cut right in the middle of the supports like this, but that's extremely dangerous. I'll show you what happens. See? It can't cut through at the end. The reason is, when the wood is placed like this, the weight of the two halves pushes down and pinches the blade in the cut. That's why it gets stuck. That's why you must always place the workpiece, so that the cut is made to the side of one of the supports. Never in the middle. Don't cut here. Always cut here, on the side. If you don't cut in a spot like this, you'll run into trouble. Now, you might see people cutting on top of a single piece of styrofoam. This piece of wood I'm using is thick and sturdy, so it won't bend and cause kickback right now. But if you try to cut on an unstable surface that moves or bends, it's pointless. That can also cause dangerous kickback. So, please be very careful. A professional's workbench is heavy and sturdy, so it absolutely won't move. If you try to cut on an unstable setup like this one, you'll get kickback instantly. So even if your setup isn't perfect, always make sure you cut on the side, allowing the offcut to fall freely. Now, for the guides I often use. There are these two. Regarding this guide, you can attach it to the saw's base right here. You just place it against the edge of the material, and you can make a rip cut at a consistent width. And then there's this one. For this, you just place it against the wood to guide your cut. You can also use it to make 45-degree cuts, like this. The only thing is, when you're making a bevel cut, this safety guard can sometimes get caught on the edge of the wood. That's why you'll often see carpenters use a small wooden wedge to hold the guard open while they cut. You might see them do this so the guard doesn't get in the way. It's dangerous, so you're really not supposed to do this. The blade is completely exposed, which is risky, but depending on the situation, sometimes it's the only way to make the cut. Basically, it's a good idea to buy a guide like this when you get your saw. It allows you to get a perfect 90-degree angle instantly, so I really think it's good to have one. We carpenters have these carpenter squares, and sometimes we'll use them as a guide. But the square is thin. This guide has more thickness and is made specifically for circular saws, so it's much better for this purpose. Okay, so today I've shown you the basics of using a circular saw. This guard is critical. If this spinning blade ever touches you, it won't be a clean cut. It causes a very nasty injury, so please be careful. And the kickback I mentioned. It's very common for beginners to try to cut right in the middle of their supports. Absolutely do not do this. It's incredibly dangerous. The wood will pinch the blade, causing a kickback, and the saw will jump violently back towards you. Always, even with supports, make your cut here, to the side of the support. You should always cut in a way that allows the offcut piece to fall away freely. Conversely, some people use a thick piece of styrofoam or something similar and cut right on top of it, not caring if the blade cuts into the support material. But if that support material is bent or unstable, the same thing, kickback, will happen. Personally, I would never cut that way. I've shown you the basics of how to use a circular saw, the tool that carpenters like me use the most. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.